So here we have a typical libtard mutant college person, a professor, and he is a racist of the worst order. And he thinks that he has the right to classify all white males as one thing. This dirtbag, okay? And he's an ethnic dirtbag, right? He's not a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and that's the crux of his inferiority complex. I am not a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I do not have such a complex. But there are a lot of guys like this guy who obviously do. And they worm their way into the halls of academia and education to pollute the minds of the innocent or unenlightened. And don't they pull it off? But above all, he is a communist. And when you listen to him, ask yourself the question, what would he say if you exchanged Donald Trump for Clarence Thomas or Ben Carson or any one of a group of great black conservative Christians who live and die by the Bible and the Constitution? End the Constitution and listen to what this scumbag says, and then know how he would feel if we put up a black Christian conservative instead of Trump. What do you think he would say then?
Well, let me give you again the beginning of the letter, and then I can expound on that after that. So the reason why I wrote the letter is that silence in the face of civic irresponsibility is civically irresponsible, and I think casting a vote for a candidate who doesn't embody the ideals of the preamble of the Constitution, nor exhibits the values required of honesty, tolerance, equal protection, and respect, those values that are required to sustain those ideals, in my opinion, casting such a vote is civically irresponsible.
This is the same type of guy, by the way, who's always moving the goalposts. Now they flat out attack the Constitution. Okay? So you try to decipher their illogic, and man, will you develop quite the industrious hobby.
So you believe it's irresponsible to cast a vote for someone you disagree with, is what you're saying. Why can't it just be wrong? Why can't you just disagree? Why does it have to be irresponsible for someone to disagree with you?
It's irresponsible because we are charged to support the values of our Constitution. And one of the values, or one of the main points in the preamble is domestic tranquility. And that's the point where we get to white power.
Now, you just witnessed, this is obviously 3 years ago, but you just witnessed what they did to almost every city in America. I wonder if this guy's condemning Antifa and Black Lives Matter, or is he celebrating their peaceful protests while they burned down how many cities, attacked how many policemen, how many innocent people, how many businesses they destroyed, how many fires they started in the name of domestic tranquility, right?
Okay. So, Donald Trump has retweeted white supremacist over 75 times. He's had opportunities to come right out and refute the support he's been given. He was just in North Carolina, and 2 days before he was in North Carolina, the KKK had a parade in his honor, and he said nothing about it.
Less than 100 KKK people, less than 100, who have no civic power or authority, who have no political connection with the mayor or the governor, unlike Antifa, who almost in every case, in every liberal city, is supported by their politicians. Not one place in this country can you say that about the KKK. But this little Nazi here, okay, and doesn't he look like a classic Nazi? Because Nazis were lefties. People don't know that. They were big government socialist Nazi lefties. They had a moniker that said first brown, then red. But people don't know that. Hitler was a Communist Party member. His number was 555. That was his card number. They don't want you to know that either. The difference between the Nazis and the communists of Russia was the Bolsheviks, okay, wanted to inculcate the world with their diatribe. Hitler only wanted the countries he had power over. Germany and Austria, the Sudetenland. It was really a nationalist Nazi movement, as opposed to an internationalist communist movement. Basically, what does that mean? It was proprietary. It was about money and who gets to sit at the seat of control. But I'm going to say this again, and I've been saying it for 40 years. We are at war, and it's getting down to cases. And if people like this aren't eliminated, this country will not survive.
He hasn't taken opportunities.
Okay, I get it. So you're saying that bad people support him, and he hasn't disavowed them. That we used to call that McCarthyism, the idea that people were responsible for the endorsement of others or the physical proximity to others. I mean, if Kim Jong-un came out and endorsed you, you wouldn't be responsible for his regime, would you? If some campus shooter took your class, you wouldn't be responsible for the murders. That's an unfair standard, isn't it? Shouldn't we judge people by what they say? I mean, he had a year talking in public. Did he say anything to endorse white power, or didn't he?
Yes, he did endorse white power. I mean, he's essentially by deporting, by his building the wall, this is what really emboldened the white power movement.
Communism, see? Internationalist communism, no borders, communism for the world. And anytime you put up a border and have an integral nation, that offends them because it threatens their illogic of a borderless communist world. They don't want a borderless world for free enterprise or for freedom of the people. Let me tell you what would happen if they were to win. They would tell you how evil Trump was for building that wall. But if every nation was under their thumb, a communist S-hole, they would wall you in for good. And the only people that would permeate said wall would be the apparatchiks, the commissars, their conceptual elite. And the peasants, the rabble, the unwashed, let me tell you, especially anybody who insurrected or demonstrated against their tyranny, would be dispatched post-haste. Now, I'm going to give you a warning to the black people in this country. In China, 2 weeks ago, in a McDonald's, they were hanging signs in Shanghai or Beijing, I can't remember which. No blacks allowed. And I didn't realize there were enough black people living in China where that could be possible, but there I was wrong. They hate black people in China. The people do. Oh, they love basketball players. Come over there and entertain them. Kind of sounds like some people down south. They're really not so crazy about blacks, but they love rooting for them at the Ole Miss game. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'll tell you this. The first people to be eliminated would be minorities that have the you-know-whats to stand up. And that's you, black folks. These people would be your undoing. Hitler hated blacks. Donald Trump wants you fat, wealthy, employed, and happy. Obama didn't want that because he wanted you agitated. He wanted to gin up your anger because he needed that as a catalyst for his power control. Stuff's pretty fundamental. It's never going to change as long as human beings are on this earth. This dynamic of expansion versus contraction. And you got to know how to ferret these weasels out
And realize that
and eliminate them.
was their embodiment. They got excited when he decided to label all Mexicans as rapists and said he was going to build a wall. That's when they really...
He never, ever did that. He said there were killers and rapers and M13 gangsters that were coming into our country along with other types of terrorists. He never flat out, and see the lie, how he conflates that Trump was saying that against all Mexicans or illegals from south of the border. Most of the people that came to our border weren't from Mexico. They came through Mexico. But this liar doesn't care about that.
felt like they
But
had
again, you're talking. Now you're a math professor, so presumably you deal in logic and linear thought. The next, you're saying that building a wall is prima facie evidence of white supremacy. Is that what you're saying? I just want to make sure I understand you.
No, I'm not saying that.
You just did, you liar.
So I'm asking you. Look, you say that he embodies the values of white power. You're holding him responsible for the views of people he has disavowed and hasn't supported. And I'm asking you, can you name anything he has said that endorses the concept of white power? And you can't, can you?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Okay.
He retweeted a quote by retweeted a tweet by a guy by the name of White Genocide TM, and this tweet irresponsibly said that white murders were 81% of white murders were committed by African Americans. That's a complete falsehood, and Trump retweeted it. The correct percentage
so getting a crime stat
is
wrong,
14%.
Or retweeting some creepy guy. And by the way, I don't think he should be tweeting in the first place. I'm not defending the guy's tweeting. I'm just saying retweeting a crime stat that's wrong is evidence of white supremacy. I mean, that's not a real argument, Professor.
I didn't call Trump a white supremacist. I said that he embodies their movement.
Oh, okay.
That's
Glad you cleared that up, you liar. Look, these people are insane. They have destroyed academia in this country. And all you conservative Christian people out there send your kids to college, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. You wanted your kids to get a honor student sticker on your bumper, so you tolerated it. You didn't stand up to your public school. You went along to get along. And then you sent little Junior and little Lancy to bumfuck state college, and you listen to this crap and you don't do a thing about it. If people in this country don't demand better, you're not going to get better. And if colleges have professors like this, you send your kids there, or they choose to go there, you and they are part of the problem. Okay? You can't go to a Hitler Bund rally or a Joe Stalin party celebration and act like you're not part of their deal.